Yeah.
things that you can,
Exactly. You gotta be so careful.
I'll just shoot it for you.
Okay, we'll call the Village of Mount Sterling Special Council meeting for August 1st, 2022 to order with roll call, please.
David,
Here?
Bill,
Here.
Joyce,
Here.
Becky, Rob,
Here.
Andy.
here.
Is there a motion to excuse Becky from the meeting this evening?
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
Okay, who's
Rob and Andy?
Yeah, right.
Rob and Andy?
Andy got it out before I did.
Well, I,
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay, so I have Rob and then Andy. Okay. Robert
And Andy.
Okay, David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
yes.
Okay. David, could you lead us in a prayer, please?
Lord, thank you for this beautiful day you provide for us, Lord. And Lord, be with our village tonight. And Lord, also touch Bill's wife tonight, Lord. Knowing he can do so much for us in his healing hands and our God. And Lord, be with the council and the mayor and also for our country and touch all the ones that are ill. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, public comment from visitors? No? No executive session. That takes us to ordinances and resolutions. Ms. Brooker?
Okay, ordinance 2022-12. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or her designee to hire Thomas Byrne as village administrator for the village of Mount Sterling for Madison County, Ohio, and this is on the third reading.
Is there a motion to put this on the third reading?
Have that motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
David, Bill,
Yes. Roll call, please.
okay, David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Rob,
No.
Andy.
Yes.
Okay.
A motion for passage?
Yes, motion for passage of ordinance 2022-12. Do I have that motion?
You have that motion?
Is there a second?
Joyce,
I'll second.
Yeah. Bill?
okay,
Roll call, oh,
sorry.
roll call?
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Rob,
No.
Andy,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-12 has passed.
Okay, we'll welcome Mr. Byrne to the village. Yeah. Welcome. All right, that takes us to, we need a motion for Ms. Brooker to apply for an OPWC grant. Would you like to talk about that at all, or?
Sure, yeah. So this motion would be the allowance for me to apply for the OPWC grant from the county, what they're offering, as well as an EPA loan for the additional fundings for the water tower. So what that means is that you guys have just given me the okay and approval to apply for them. You guys will, with any sort of funding, loan application, grant application, you guys will then accept it if it's awarded. So these are, as you know, the additional funding for the water tower. So as you know, we do have the Army Corps grant, which is paying 75% of it. We do have HARPA money, which is 87,000. So these monies are the leftover amounts, which is between 270 to 300,000, just depending on inflation, because I think that's going to play an important role as we apply and construct. So this is for me to allow us to see if we can get a grant, and if we can get some sort of loan application. And again, it'll be brought back to you guys if it's awarded. The details have been fixated with the finance people, so this is just for me to apply for it.
In other words, Courtney, to give us a chance, we might get them, yeah, I think, okay.
You should apply for everything.
This
Yeah.
EPA.
You get on that.
This one is at a 1.99%, you know, that is very minimal compared to what we currently have. So if we can't get any grants, we're gonna get those up front.
And that's over 20 or 30 years, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 1.99% for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
So
So-
now, my passion is never to borrow money. I try really hard not to do that. In this case, we just got to line up what our options are. If we don't apply for them, you don't get them.
That's right.
So we should just at least try.
Yes.
And if we get them, we got options. If we
And that's
don't,
why there's
we
two.
don't.
Yep, so OPWC is a grant, so that would be, you know, like, it wouldn't be a loan, it wouldn't be extended out.
Be
to
outright.
50 years.
Yeah.
So the grant's something that the county does every year, and hopefully we do get that, because that's, you know, just, I don't wanna say free money, it's a contribution, but it would be less than what you would have to extend to a 30-year loan.
So how long is the loan term again?
Usually they're 30 years, but some of them are 20 to 30, it just depends on what.
They ultimately award us, yeah.
But all that'll come back, so you guys will, you know, if it's awarded, before we even take the money back, you guys have to accept us to do that, so.
Yeah.
If
But
the
this is
terms
for-
look wonky once it comes to us,
But
you
this
have
is
the
in
opportunity to say no.
preparation, because as you know, if you go and get certain grants, you don't get the money tomorrow. So when you apply for a grant, that grant, it'll take at least a year for you to even say that you're gonna use it, okay? So grants and loans are two totally different things. Some grants are free monies, which is very rare. Other ones are 25% contribution, you know, and then other ones are straight loans. So the loans is, in my personal opinion, those will be the very, very last if you can't find any other funding.
Good.
Because we, you know, we really shouldn't, you shouldn't be going in borrowing money when we already have money we've already borrowed.
Yes.
But that will be last resort, but remember, we still have to pay 25% of that. We've gotten halfway through it, we just have to get the other half. And you have to prepare it as if this grant can go through, would be great. But we don't know that, and we can't count on that until they tell us.
It would be nice to have lots of hard decisions to make.
Right.
You know, get a buffet of options for take a little bit from here, and a little bit from here, and a little bit from here, and now you have, you know, what you need to get done. So this is allowing her to go out, conquer, go get some stuff, let's figure it out.
And the state auditors, just to give everybody, you know, a little bit of a comfort level too, this has all been discussed with them. So they're fully aware of what direction we want to go, and that's not to borrow. But knows that, you know, if we have to borrow, you know, then this is the cheapest at 1.99%. So, we gotta get that set.
If we were awarded that grant, would that go towards the 25% that we have to come up with?
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Cut that way
because
down.
the project is 3 years long, we will continue to apply and apply and apply. And if we don't get it this time, we just keep going back over and over and over and over and over again until something happens and we have to then borrow the money.
Okay.
Or that's the last bitter moment when you do
Okay.
that.
So if nothing happens and we do have to, I hope not, but if we do have to look at a loan, could another grant in the future pay that loan off?
Depends on what the loan looks like. Sometimes they allow you to immediately pay it off if you have the cash, or sometimes in the last 10 years, if you have the cash, pay it off because the balances go out. Sometimes not. Like our current loan on the water plant will not let us accelerate because they have bonds on it. And so it's,
But you can
you
always
can't.
restrict it, so good question on that.
Yeah, well, that's a good
We
point,
could-
yeah.
We can restrict it, make another fund, and I can never touch it unless that fund, that loan comes up. And the good thing about the, you know, with the, you know, this EPA loan, it's not something that we can sit on. So that's another stipulation,
Well-
and part of this game, they only offer it a certain period of time. And time will be running out, so you can't say, oh, well, we wanna apply for it, because we didn't get this grant, in May, now we wanna apply for the EPA, that's not how that works. So you have to apply for it during certain periods of time. Now, loans, you can get a loan anytime you want, but this is specific to EPA. EPA is offering this sort of loan, so we can't sit on it and say, oh, well, we'll just apply for it April of next year, that's not how this one works.
Okay.
So this is just something that has a, you know, very good interest rate if there has to be an application for, but, grants are the ones that I've gone after, so.
Well, hopefully the grant works out, because my one concern with the loan is passing the buck on to the residents, already financially strapped residents, as far as possibly raising taxes or the water bill again. Hopefully we can obtain the loan and be able to manage it without having to do anything like that.
I think
So
that would be a
I think I
top priority.
estimated
Yeah.
about 6,000 or something like that, 6,000 or 7,000.
Which we have in the, so we do have that in the budget. We probably would not necessarily have to go there. That said, you and I are of the same mind where I don't want to pass anything on to anybody if I don't have to do it. Because ultimately, that's $6,000 we could use for potholes or fire hydrants or something else. And you're throwing good money after bad at that point. So let's figure out what our options are, and then we got to have a really tough conversation at some point.
Because I know that would be a major concern of a lot of residents watching this meeting right now. Wow, is my property taxes going to go up? Is Rita going to go up? You know, is the water bill going to go up again? That seems to be a hot topic around town, is the water bill. So that's just one concern I have for the residents.
As far as like the Rita, what you're saying is that the income tax, the only way the income tax, just so everybody knows and the public knows, is that it's at a 1% Rita tax. The only way that can be increased is if it goes to the ballot. You as council members do not have the right to increase that at all. So it'll go back out to the voters, which the residents are gonna be the voters, and they'll say, okay, is it a 0.5%, is it 1%, is it 3%, whatever that is. So understand that logic. Nobody here on council can
All right.
approve that. It'll go straight to the voters.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure, so thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, one additional comment about grants is that they are hard work to apply for, and almost always, you don't know immediately when you're going to get one. In fact, it's months into the future. The one you're applying for right now, maybe 3, 4, 5 months from now, possibly. And so you take a swing at it, and you don't know for a long period of time, and then it's like, okay, wash, rinse, repeat, all over again. So, yeah, we'll tee it up. We'll tee multiple ones up. We've got others in the hopper. There's a potential one for drainage that's just coming up. CBDG, that would be next year, but we won't know. And so we won't know until next year, but we got to get into a machine. We got to get into a cycle where we're doing this stuff all the time.
And you have to understand where your monies are reserved for, because in some of these, like I said, there's a contribution that the village is required to do, like the water replacement line down here on South London. You know, the village is responsible for a certain percentage of that, which at that time was 25%.
Right.
Which, you know, we came very good under. But understand that in these different types of grants, loans, you know, awards of any of these CDBGs, there is normally a contribution that, you know, the village financially will have to prepare for. If it's a 25% contribution, where's those monies come from?
I think that's an interesting project that you named, because that project was $400,000, and no one gives any credit because it's all underground, basically. You don't see it. But that project was $400,000, and our contribution was a little less than 24%, something like that. So at the end, when you got all the bills in, which I think we just did, we still did pretty darn decent, everything all said and done. And we got a water line which fed, you know, fire service. This is what it's there for. Safety.
And, you know, we can take that back, and I know Chief Taylor knows that as well, is, you know, look at the benefit that it's done for the
Absolutely.
community. So, like Andy says, a lot of the people don't understand that it's underground, but it served a purpose when you have safety and children at daycare.
Right.
And people on High Street, you know, that had experienced, you know, had low pressure there, you know, but it helped the fire, it helps their evaluation too. You know, for
Overall.
Their insurance and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, with all of that being said, do we have a motion for Courtney to apply for these grants on a loan?
You have that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, that's Joyce and Rob.
Okay,
Roll call?
Joyce,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
great,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything for roundtable?
The only thing is, the Timmons Brothers Rock and Roll Trivia, 20 teams from around the state, number one. One again.
All right.
And we got to be on WTU radio, and my brother John said I hogged the show, but I didn't.
All right, if there's nothing else this evening, and thank you for coming, and we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Get your project done?
Oh, yeah, I got